Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Voice from the Baltic Star. We're here. It's Friday. It's quite warm, and we're all together. Look, the three of us. And when the three of us together, and we're feeling kind of hot, it's time for some Traveller, and that's what we're bringing for you this evening. This latest part. Is it part 19 of season 3? I lose track now. I don't write it down in the intro. So, I think something like that. We're hammering through
It is 19, yeah.
19. Look at us.
Yeah.
That
Chapter 19 or section 19 of season 3.
that puts us around the middle somewhere of the season, generally speaking. So what a good time to join us. Um, we are here as always, like say on Friday, and we're playing Traveller. So if you don't know what that is, that's a science fiction game. It's quite old and it's brilliant, and we're using the Mongoose Second Edition rules, which we love, and it's what we've been using for a number of years now. If it's your first time, you're very welcome to join us. We're running quite tightly tonight because one of us has to be up in the morning, and so we're making sure we're all done and over by 1, so that person can cozy up into bed with a smile on their face, knowing that they can actually get some sleep tonight. There'll be a break about halfway through or something like that, whenever it best suits, for a few minutes. So grab a drink, whatever you need then. But feel free to come and go or drop out if it's not to your liking, or if you're just tired. There's a lot. Life's just tiring, and there's a lot of good stuff online and on telly. So you do you, boo. I think that's what they say. Anyway, also feel free to chat. Chat is a friendly place. We try and keep it. I can hear my voice in someone's monitors, whoever that is. It's very off-putting. Feel free to chat or lurk. We love our lurkers. We love our chatters. If one of us is not busy, it is you, and yes. If one of us is not busy, we tend to join in the chat. Even if we're busy, we tend to join in the chat. That's part of our vibe, which you'll notice is quite relaxed and clumsy. I go like a slightly drunk panda. I'm going to go with that's our spirit animal. So yeah, get involved as much or as little as you want to, really. There's a red sun there to spend some Imperial credits. If it's sort of pinkish, that'll make a noise and some tunes or something like that. There's some things you can do to affect the story, so you can give us boons, or you can name an NPC, and that NPC is canon. They're in the story. Ben will build them in some way. You can make someone tell a tale. You can make Stefan have to steal something. That's always fun. You can make someone have to hit something or someone. That's always fun. Have a flick around, see what you want to do. There's one thing we keep as 1 credit and 1 credit always, and always will do. If you want to join us in a toast or agree or celebrate something, you can all drink to that for 1 single credit. It's always going to be 1 credit. Whatever inflation does, that will always stay as 1. And yeah, it just gets you involved, and generally one of us will raise a glass and smile or enjoy a drink with you or something like that. Right, let's introduce us and get started. That's Yana, by the way, because Ben redeemed Team Yana, as is his wont. My name is Luke Hill. I'm in the bottom right-hand corner. I'm here. What's that? Will you give me thumbs down as I introduce myself? This is very
No, that was
aggressive.
Yana. I was just a bit slow off the mark.
Wow. We'll see. Anyway, my name is Luke.
Definitely not you, Luke.
He clearly doesn't like me tonight. But I play 2 characters in our adventure. I play Kara and I play Soraya. Kara is an arty, talky, computery kind of young lady, down with the kids and good with a glass of beer in her hand, talking with pretty much any class of people, really. Soraya, not so good at talking with people. She's got very low social standing because she spent 14 years flying around on the edge of space. But she's good with all she needs in life is a can of WD-40 and some gaffer tape, and she's got everything sorted. Moving on up, one above me is my brother from another mother. He is the Floofmeister General and the housewife's favourite. He is the sweatiest man in Faversham. What a sight to behold. He is the wonderful Ewan. Good evening, Ewan. How are you?
Hey, Luke. I'm good, thanks. I'm good. A little bit warm, as you were saying. But other than that, I'm excited. I'm excited for, is it 2 weeks worth of travelling now? We had a little bit of a summer holiday break, didn't we? And now now feels like we're cementing it back in again. It's all good.
Yeah, until next week when it's off again.
Shh.
We're doing so well.
Don't mention next week.
Yeah. We're normally pretty good at getting a rhythm going. It's just August is funky. You know how it is, summer. July,
August
August
is tough.
funny.
It's
It is.
just the way life works out in the sort of late summer.
Yeah, definitely. It's all.
Speaking of awkward, tell us about your Varga and your other character.
Good segue.
Well, thank you very much.
Not at all. Although I feel somewhat awkward about it now. I play Agnar Arnson, the Varga, not former Varga. He is an actual Varga, former military general. Daddy of the group. He's the oldest by a long way. He's pretty old, 43 Varga years. He is good with his military tactics and good with his medic. Not very good with his strength, as Luke alluded to in a tweet this week. I had to double check the modifier on a strength of 3 was -1. Unfortunately, I also play Stefan Miller, who is a very human, sneaky space rogue. Best friend, I would say Stefan would say his best friends with Soraya. Soraya might not, but
They've buried the
they're
hatchet
good
now.
buddies.
They're pals again.
Yeah, she helps him out a lot. He slagged off some of her clothes, and then buried a hatchet, which I think made it up to her in Anton Fest. Not an actual hatchet.
She liked that. She enjoyed the burying of hatchets that way. I think she'd like him to always bury the hatchet in that way from now on. Hey.
We'll see what opportunities come up.
Well, there might be one upcoming soon. Probably not for Stefan though, but we'll see.
No, probably not for a while.
And finally, the man that plays every single other character in this entire universe, and the Traveller universe is very large if you've ever seen the map. Basically, all those billions and billions and trillions of people, that's him at the top. And he can do that because he's the smartest man in any room. And he lives his entire life in the Twin Peaks dream sequence. And he likes nothing better than to slip into a black turtleneck at night and sneak out and get into the bedrooms of women up and down the country to leave his chocolatey treats in their drawers.
And all because the lady loves milk tray.
He is the magnificent, the sensational, and the slightly sensual Ben. Good evening, Ben. How are you?
Better after that introduction. Thank you. It always makes me feel, what's the word? Worse is what it makes me feel. But it's very nice to be with you to play some more Traveller.
Good. And you were saying off stream you were a little bit under the weather, Ben. I hope playing this game can bring a bit of joy to you.
I've been struggling a bit this week. Yeah. Yes. Yes. No. I'm British, so we don't really complain that much. But yeah, a little bit under the weather, as you say.
Well, why don't you put all that aside, put all the pain and suffering aside, and make me and you and have a good night? Yeah? Why don't you do that? Why don't you be selfless tonight and bring love and happiness to your two friends down here?
I mean, sure, it would be a radical departure from our usual style, but okay. If
Joy and good moods are infectious, Ben.
Exactly.
So I hear.
I thought that was cholera. Anyway.
Well, that would explain your GMing style.
There you go. Yes. So, everybody, welcome back to Giikur, where the vastly popular Pelago race is underway, and the Travellers are buried in the whole thing up to their eyeballs. Agnar is watching from a luxury dirigible, while Soraya and Rose have crashed one team's party already, and Soraya has asked Johnny to join her to go after another. She passed a phone stolen from a Team VCI person to journalist Verima Sefran. Kara is aboard the ISB team's craft, racing across the oceans, while Stefan is hiding out in the Baltic Star on the run from the police over his unfortunate stabbing of Anton Fess. Rose, enjoying the party at Team VCI, was offered a chance to take a cruise into the ocean on a support boat. When she called Soraya from the boat, it wasn't her voice that was heard over the phone, however. The calm and calculated tones of Anton Fess said, "Good afternoon, Miss Kensari. How nice to renew our acquaintance." And that is where we resume the story.
First up, thank you for the resub, Poops. We love you subbing. We love you in general, and thank you for the raid. Monkey Tales joined them earlier. They were playing one of our games that we love to play on channel, Those Dark Places. In fact, Jonathan Hicks himself, the writer, was GMing, and that's why they're here so early, I'm guessing, because he's probably killed them all, because he's vicious in that game. He's mean and nasty. A actual pirate.
He does also run a very tight ship, I think, because...
You're only saying that because he's in our chat at the moment.
Oh, is that true? Well,
Yeah.
no, I was just going to say, because normally any one shot will stretch into at least 3 or 4, and he actually kept us to 1. So I like to think that his timing is down. And that's why they're here. Maybe.
Thank you for the gift sub as well. Poops, I'll play you some Beastie Boys for that as a celebration. Also, that gets the weight of potential YouTube money off our backs nice and early. That's not going to happen anymore. The Beastie Boys will have I'll take it.
It's important to get that particular elephant off our backs. Yes.
Exactly. But thank you, Poops, and thank you all of you. Now, if you'll excuse me, you've joined us at quite a tense moment. We've just restarted. Now, Sarai's going to be shocked here. She knows that Fess is around, but she'd almost sort of let her guard down when Rose was talking about going on the cruise and that. So it will hit Soraya with that sort of streak of cold up her spine, you know, the tingles. And she will pause momentarily, uncertain what to say briefly. She'll sort of be, and she'll like, in her mind, she's like, oh man, that can't. And she pulls it together. Says, Mattis Fess, I believe, if that is indeed your real name.
Please call me Anton.
Well, if you insist, Mr. Fess, to what do I owe this pleasure? I'm glad to hear that you're alive.
Are you really? That is unexpectedly pleasant to hear.
Your team seems to be doing well at the moment, from what I can tell. I mean, from what I've followed, they seem to have started the race quite well.
Oh. It's early days yet, but I'm quietly optimistic.
If you, I assume you've called me to talk about the race, I suppose. There's nothing else that we could be talking about, surely.
As a matter of fact, not so much the race, though I'm sure it may enter into it at some point. I note with interest that you have a few friends on board the ISB team's craft.
Yes. Turns out that we have very talented crewmates.
I don't doubt it. I just wanted to say you're not the only person with friends. Not even the only one with friends aboard the ISB craft. And it's very important that we come to some form of understanding, and I think it's becoming urgent.
Is there a way that you can and Sir, I would know this. So this is an in-story question, Ben. Can you record? And we might have talked about this before. Can you record conversations without the other person knowing?
Yes.
Can Soraya start recording this conversation, please?
Yes, indeed.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Fess, what understanding would you like to come to?
I have a feeling that you have an objective in mind, that you didn't join this race purely for the fun of it. And while, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You're just going to have fun in the race, finish wherever you finish, just a little behind us, I suspect. And you're going to have a lovely time out on the ocean. And I wish you the best luck. But I do want to just say, if you do have a motive that could be qualified perhaps as ulterior, secretive, discreet, maybe we could come to some understanding where you do not pursue that particular objective.
Now, you have to excuse me, Mr. Fess. Of course, I've not had full conversation with Kara or indeed Agnar for quite some time. In fact, or Stefan for a while, because you may be aware, of course, that while you were recovering, I was being set up or framed for something that I was not doing, and I spent time in police cells, in police custody, and being pushed here, there, and everywhere. And so I must admit, my mind has only been half on the rest of the crew at best, if you understand. So I've only heard vague bits and pieces of, Kara's successes, well, in the ship and such like.
I'm sorry if I gave you the impression that this was a fact-finding expedition. It isn't. I'm actually not interested in your commentary, merely your decision-making.
It feels like you have ulterior motives, Mr. Fess. You have goals outside of just your craft winning.
People tell me that every motive I have is ulterior.
You give off that vibe sometimes.
I'm someone who has many
Faces?
parallel activities at any one time.
Your fingers in many rocks.
I have been known to enjoy a rock.
And you enjoy to finger fish as well, I've heard.
I enjoy the taste of fish.
Well, word gets around, Mr. Fess. Is Rose okay? You appear to have her phone after all.
She's fine, of course.
I can't believe she's handed you the phone freely. I don't think she particularly likes you very much. She's a good judge of character, that girl.
Sometimes you do say quite hurtful things.
Oh, I'm still replaying over in my mind the look in your face when you chased me through the cascade. It looked like you had hurtful thoughts on your mind.
Well, let's just call that your interpretation.
I was only able to see one of your faces, I suppose, at the time. So, in your ideal world, Kara and the crew, ISB, they do well enough, and they complete the lap around and come back and finish second, third, fourth. A reasonable result. Everyone goes home safely, and you get to lift your trophy and get to do what else you're doing with your other fish finger without any problems.
That sounds very good to me, and everybody's happy.
Especially you, it feels.
I'm one of everybody.
I am. Have you heard the news, Mr. Fest, that there's someone has someone's been found shot, a gentleman, and that I believe the media are looking at connections to you.
To me?
To you.
I wonder how they could possibly have come to that conclusion.
I don't know. I just that's all I've heard. I've heard there's rumours around the pits. But you know what pits are like. They're a den of rumours and iniquity and just drunks generally.
I do know what they're like. Yes, I have in general been unimpressed by the standard of the support crews for the teams.
Ah, it's understandable. It's understandable. I assume yours are the very best, though. Your team, you managed to handpick the best support crews you could.
Well, they're not exactly the people I would have picked myself.
Mr. First, what is your ulterior motive?
If I told you, it would kind of become considerably less ulterior, don't you feel?
Ulterior, exterior. You know.
I think we're going to have to leave my motives implicit. But what we must do here is come to some kind of understanding.
Okay.
And I will, of course, honour this understanding.
Okay.
You will simply complete the race. You will then go on about your business. I understand you have a ship waiting to leave, and I'm sure you will have an enormous amount of entertainment ahead of you. It's just that should be your goal, I feel now. I think you should aim for the idea of gathering up every single member of your crew, putting them safely aboard your ship, and setting off to your next world of destination.
Well, I'd like to think, Mr. Fest, that once that's done, we'll never hear from you again.
Well, it's a big galaxy.
It is. You just keep turning up in ours like a bad penny.
I feel that may be because we have unfortunately ended up looking for the same things.
What is it you're after, Mr. Fest? Is it rocks or fish?
I am after your agreement that the race will continue and conclude without any more messing about, and then you will gather up your merry band and disappear from Giikur.
Okay. I'll tell you what I can promise from my position, Mr. Fest. As you know, the race has started. I have little say over what Kat and Kara and Freya and Sammy will be doing. They're on the ship. That's up to them and the captain and the crew and such like. And hopefully, the ship beats yours, in fact, and the ISB craft crosses the line first. I could not be happier than that. And I'd be even happier if all the crew on that ship made it back to shore safely. Absolutely. I'd say that's a shared wish. I can also promise that I will, um, whatever your big plans are, whatever's happening, I feel like I'm not in any position anyway to physically interfere in such things. I'm sure we'd agree. I'm stuck here. There's a drunk guy just puking in that corner. It smells horrible. So to be honest, I'd be quite happy to be out of here. I can also account for those crew members that are in the coronet, lurking around. I can't see any reason why they would want to do anything other than finish watching the race and get back on board our craft. So as far as those that I can account for and have some sort of sway over at this time, I'm happy to do just that, really.
Well, that's very good. Now, I think you are deliberately avoiding the topic that we both know is at hand here.
Sorry, that's not a Sarai pause. That's a me pause. That's me. I was going to ask you something, but an out of character question. But then I decided not to. I'm going to try and play it properly. Just trying to work out where you could have heard rumors from. This is a piece to viewers as well, really. I'm learning it from video game streaming. Always tell people what you're thinking. And Ben's okay. He's an honest Jim. I'm trying to work out if there's any time that any obvious link that we've spoken about our plans really obviously, where Fess could have heard directly from the horse's mouth. Rather, but he's a smart man, so he could put two and two together very easily. He's an intelligent man, and especially if he's planning to do the same thing, he'll see similarities in views. He'll also probably know that we came over on the seamstress with the cult, whose land is Harrenhal, which is the place we're going to, and we're suddenly on board a boat trying to get out there. But so that's what I'm thinking, really. Was that an inhale to say something?
No, I was only gonna suggest that he does also have somebody's phone.
Yeah, that's true, but I don't know how much.
I don't know how
much Rose is in. She's only in group chats, isn't she?
Yeah, but we do tend to rely on those quite a bit sometimes.
If you'd like me to interject at this point, as far as you're aware, you've been very cagey anywhere near Fess, though you have had a few discussions with him. You've more or less continually lied to him, insulted him, and tried to avoid giving anything away. You've actually been quite careful about the Harrenhal plan as well. You, as far as you're aware, the only people who know about it are your group chat, as you say, your own team.
Well, even Agnar's not been sharing with Sharp, even, has he? So he's been cagey with her.
That's right. And certainly the other people on board the ISB racecraft are unaware.
I feel like the reason Luke is pondering this for our viewers who may not have been here at the time is that Fess has previously bugged us.
Yeah.
He has.
And been listening into our conversations many weeks ago now in game, but a while ago in real life. But that's all I've got. I can't actually help Luke, sorry.
Cool. Okay. Thank you. No, that's good. That's good. So yeah, it was good. It was good to clear the air on that and to get. Sometimes I have to think about what I know and what the characters know, if that makes sense. And what happens in game over 2 days, which they would remember, happens to us over a year. So it's easy to forget without the notes and such like. So I just needed to flick back and see what Kara said to him at the Cascade. So she didn't. She
Ah.
kept it to other stuff. So, okay. Mr. Fess, I am. I've heard that there's a. I have heard that there's reports of a strange underwater craft out in the depths. I have heard that from from a couple of sources. Is that something to do with you?
It sounds to me like you've been on the sources a little too much.
Well, it's being around here. Free drinks, you know what I mean?
No such thing as a free drink. You always pay for it sometime.
Often in the morning for me. Um, is Rose going to make it back to shore safely, Mr. Fess?
Well, I must assume so.
And she'll freely be able to come ashore and come back to us?
I don't doubt that she will be made available to welcome home all of the team members aboard the ISB racing craft as they finish tomorrow.
Can I just check in with her briefly? You're welcome to keep it on speakerphone if that makes you feel more happy.
No need. I trust you.
Okay.
And there's a sort of brief pause, and then you hear Rose's voice come on, and she says, "Hey,
Hey, enjoying your time on the boat?
it's less of a party atmosphere than I was hoping."
Hmm. Are you still enjoying the wind in your hair and the waves, or has that all slowed right down?
We seem to be going reasonably quickly at the moment.
Um, how many of you are on there? Was it a whole group?
In total, there are 3 of us.
Oh, not the best party boat you've ever chosen to get on board.
It does appear that a few people got off at the last moment.
Hmm. Are you heading towards or away from land, Rose?
I can't actually see it anymore.
Has he treated you okay in as much as he does?
He's been unfailingly polite.
Well, that sounds like it. Who's his friend? Just the driver, the captain, the pilot.
We haven't exchanged words. He's wearing Team VCI colours.
Hmm. Um. I'll do what I can to make sure you're back safe, Rose. Okay, and we'll get back at the end of this. We'll get back on the Baltic Star and have a more relaxing drink among friends.
That sounds good to me. And you then hear Fess's voice saying, "Satisfied?"
I'm satisfied you're a dick, but yeah, okay. I'll be in touch. That's right. Hangs up.
Okay. How rude.
I would.
Okay.
Uh, right. Let's do the order of what I need to do. First things first. Hi, Kelly. How are you doing? Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining so I can say hello and save myself a moment of thinking.
Hi, Kelly. I can help if you want, Luke. Kill Fess.
Oh,
Get
please.
crewmate back.
Oh,
Go to the Winchester. Wait for all this to blow over.
yes. Now you're talking.
Dogs can look up.
Exactly. Okay. First things first. Sarah's going to message Kara.
Okay.
Being Kara myself, there's no reason why Kara would not receive this message directly. She's not under any problems that she can tell of on her ship. It's going as she'd expect, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I will message Kara to say, suddenly this Fess is very good at making me paranoid, right? I think that's part of his charm. So I'll message her
His charms.
among his charms. I'll tell her to trust no one. I'll say, Fess has a plan. Fess has Rose. Wants you to complete race. Basic bit of your basic information that even if it's being fingered, trust no one. Fess has a plan. Fess has Rose. Wants you to complete race. Fantastic. That'll do for now. Then she's going to call Agnar, please.
Okay.
Yes, hello. Sorry.
Hey.
Sorry, Sean. I won't be a minute. Yeah, sorry.
Fess has Rose.
Well, what?
But you know that guy that Stefan stabbed in the throat, and you decided it'd be a nice idea.
Yes, I know who.
To save him.
I know who Fess is.
Yeah, he's repaid us by stealing Rose. Do you know how upset Zoe? Do you know how upset
Rose
Zoe's
and who
going to be?
else?
Rose and one other member of the ISB crew, who I think is his mate, are on a boat
Well, what was Rose doing alone?
partying.
Or was someone with her?
I'd spoken to her. Are you passing this on to me, Agnar? I was having to pass over
No,
evidence to the press.
I'm just trying to
Fess down.
understand why we're walking around alone when we know that.
Well, not all of us can fly around in a
He's
bougie
around
balloon with a
he's
beautiful head of
unwell.
security. It's true. It's my fault. I'll take it. But
Do you want me to mention it to them?
To Sharp. To who?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a recording. I'll send you over of the conversation. Make of it what you will. Play it to Sharp if you think she should listen to it.
It's not going to do any harm, though, is it? There's nothing incriminating on there.
Okay. No, he's got plans, and he thinks our plans are at least similar to his or interfere with his, and he's suggesting in his ever so polite but equally threatening words that it's probably best that we just finished the race and all went home and left him to do exactly what he wants to do, which seems kind of unfair. There's not much give and take in that, if you know what I mean.
No, certainly not. By the sounds of things. Hmm.
I'm guessing you've long lost track of the submarine. I don't know if you've got a tracker on the direction it
Yeah.
was going.
Well, I know where it was, and I know which way it's facing. Most submarines do have the ability to change their navigational compass, as it were.
It's true. It's true.
Your classier type of submarine can steer.
Did you learn that from your military days?
Well, it was covered, yes, briefly, only briefly in the army, obviously. But I did get hold of. I got hold of Quan on the Baltic Star and asked him if there was anything they could pick up from up there to see if they could track it. Last I heard, there was no sign, but.
The other thing we need to do is, I don't know how, either you or Kron or something, if you can somehow try and, it's a small boat, but Rose is on this boat, and I don't know if that's just shooting off to the side. It's possible if Fess is going, he might be taking her onto the submarine as a bit of insurance, you know, a classic hostage situation.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, do you know where they were last? Maybe it might be possible to, I don't know, track his flight. I'm sure he's probably got measures to stop us from trying to track his phone. We don't even have his number, do we? Oh, you've got his number. He just called you.
Yeah. Although not necessarily his phone. I could track Rose's, or Cara potentially could. Could she? I'm guessing. Cara would have everyone's phone and she'll have her kit with her. I could try and get Cara to track it potentially. It's far above my station.
Yeah, I mean, she might be busy. I mean, obviously she's not too busy for this, but.
Well, exactly.
I think it's a good idea. We need to find out where they are. I'll send me the recording. I'll fill in sharp.
I think
sort of like
yeah.
A bit of eye contact with her and raise some eyebrows.
Oh, in what way? In an alluring way or an inquisitive way?
No, just a yes, I mentioned your name way.
But his whole
he's been very careful not to mention it up until this point.
His whole forehead is eyebrows, though. That's the problem.
Look across a bit curiously, like, what could you possibly be talking about?
I think
just the one giant eyebrow.
Them giant out here. I think
the more entire body is covered by an eyebrow.
Yeah, yeah, it's just like ultra. I feel like the more
that's not canon. No,
one giant eyebrow. It is now too late. Can someone make that an NPC? Agnar's single eyebrow. I bet it has to. I think the more friends and allies we have on this situation right now, it can't hurt. Sharp, I'll tell Zoe, she'll be raging. I've got the reporter. I'll be in touch with her soon. She might have ways of tracking or finding things out. I don't know. Just pulling dirt on Fess the best we can, you know. I've just got to decide how nuclear I go on it, if you know what I mean, to the press. I've been quite open with her before, and she's been pretty good with me, but still a big call, you know.
Yeah. Listen, if Cara can do anything, or if anyone tracks her or finds out where she is, just get them to let me know.
Of course. I'll keep you posted,
Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna call Cara, and you do your thing with Sharp, I guess.
Yeah. Perfect. Send me the. You probably got time on the audio. I'll explain things first. You know how I like to go into detail sometimes.
Of course. I'll do it now. I've got to go and rinse my shoes off anyway. This guy just puked over them.
Fess. No,
No,
it was a phone call.
that was a phone call.
Priorities.
Oh, this is confusing.
It's getting quite messy down here.
Okay.
And it's still early in the day. Right.
Yeah, I can hear that.
Okay. I'll speak to you soon, Agnar.
All right. Well, let's go to Agnar first then.
He'll look across the table to Sharp, and he's got no reason to say anything else. He'll say that was Soraya. You know Soraya. You've met Soraya
Yes,
many a time.
yes.
Yes.
Quite well.
Apparently Anton Fest, the not fugitive but checked himself out of a medical facility, has called her up and has one of our crewmates with him.
Oh, nice.
We would very much imagine against their will.
Oh, less nice.
Yes. Anyway, she's going to send me over a recording she made of a phone call that they had. But this is somebody, you know, this is a very good friend and crewmate of ours.
Okay. She listens for a few minutes to the recording, and then she says, "Well, I don't think there was anything said that was technically actionable. Nothing that has admitted an actual crime, if that's what you're asking."
No, of course. I mean, I assumed that before Soraya had even sent it. He's very careful with his words.
On the other hand, reading between the lines, it sounds to me like it would be better if Rose was not with him. So, yeah. Any idea what you want to do about it?
Well, Soraya was going to get hold of Kara. I mean, obviously she's very busy at the minute. But to try, because she's obviously our tech person, and see if she could track Rose's phone, or at least find out where they are. We can't do anything until we find out where they are, right?
Finding them is a problem, and then potentially approaching them could be a problem on a big open ocean. Hard to hide the fact you're coming.
Do you know what'd be really cool?
Also, there's another problem, isn't there? Which is, I mean, it's not as if you're going to get a big police response or anything on the basis of that recording. So, yeah.
Do you know what would be a really good way, I feel, to approach a boat on a big ocean? It's reasonably quietly.
Okay.
And he looks around, gestures.
Oh, I see your point. I mean, we do seem to have quite a lot of fellow passengers.
Yeah, that is a problem. I'm going to be honest. Fess has a boat, and we're pretty sure he's the one with the submarine as well.
Right.
So I'd imagine the last place he's going to be looking for any of his friends or anybody chasing him is up. Obviously, I'm not going to endanger anybody's life because that's. I took an oath not to do so.
Yes.
That's kind of why we're in this situation. I can't help but feel somewhat responsible, being the person who saved his life.
I don't think you can take too much blame for the instinct to save a life.
No, but do you know there's always that itching feeling that I hadn't done anything, or had even done less, then
Yeah.
we might not be in this situation. And he'll do his best to give her the the literal puppy dog eyes, like, help me.
She sort of looks around the space with its sort of 100 passengers and more than a dozen stewards wandering back and forth. And she says, on average, I tend to find days where I don't take hostages are the better days.
Well, yes, I mean, we're trying to stop somebody who has taken a hostage, and taking more than one hostage seems like a net loss, if you know what I mean.
Yes. I mean, I suppose we could simply order everyone to leave. But there might be some disagreement about that.
Mm.
All right. Can you roll a under the circumstances a persuade for me, please, with intellect?
Oh no, Agnar's not good at this. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Can be. Oh, it's a 10 minus 3 is a 7.
7. Okay. She shrugs and says, they did say the thing mostly opens after this thing mostly empties after dark, when people go back to their boats or their villas or whatever to get some sleep before coming back for the end of the race.
That is true, and the recording said that that Fess would be handing Rose over at the end of the race, right? So there's no, I mean, obviously there's an immediate hurry to get her back, but in theory, she's at least safe until that point.
Well, I guess then there's a key question you have to ask yourself. If you're not going to disappoint Mr. Fess, and if he decides to honour his side of the deal, then you don't need to do anything. On the other hand, if you are going to disappoint Mr. Fess, and you therefore feel there might be a greater sense of danger, then when are you planning to disappoint Mr. Fess? Because if it's, say, tomorrow, we've got some time. If it's in the next half hour, we're up against it.
That's very true. Let me. I might have to speak to Soraya. Let me call Soraya, and I'll get back to you.
All right. Before you do that, Soraya's going to make another call before we cut away to Agnar. So Soraya's going to call. Was it Kara?
It is. Yes, please.
Which Agnar is waiting to happen because she needs to kind of speak to Kara, but he didn't want to say Kara in front of Sharp. As if she doesn't know what we're doing.
Well, she doesn't know any details, and so far she's been studiously, deliberately ignorant, shall we say, to give you some deniability.
Okay. Can I not have the conversation with myself? But basically, so right. Hi, Cara. How you doing? Oh, not too. I'm doing pretty well. Doing all right. Where are they at the minute? What position are they in, Ben?
They are getting on for a couple of 1,000 kilometers away from their start line.
Cool. And where are they in where? I know positions in the race are relatively hard, just because people take different routes. But from what she can tell,
at the moment, according to my notes on the race and based on last week's rolls, they are currently lying fourth.
Nice. Hey, Soraya. Hey, Cara. How you doing? Oh, we're doing all right. We're quite a way out. We're about fourth at the minute. Things looking good. Is Cat driving? Is Cat piloting at this point?
She is no longer piloting. No, she was spelled after about the first hour.
Cat's taken a break. She did really, really well, and really proud of her. She's catching a breather, but otherwise things are going well. Oh, well, things aren't going so well now, Cara. Rose has. Go on, I'll tell you what. I'll send you this. You listen to this, but I could probably do with you if you think you can. Just find out where Rose's phone is right now, if that's okay. We've sort of lost track of where she is, and we could really do with know where she is. Oh, sure, I'll give it a go. I'm hoping I can do that. I guess I'll soon find out whether I can, but it's something I would normally be able to do, but I don't know if I'm up to it right now. We'll see what we can do. Cheers, Soraya. Take care. Why is there a drunken man singing behind you? Oh, well, I'm surrounded by drunken men all of a sudden. Everyone's very excited. Very excited about the whole event right now. Oh, that must be a shame. Okay, well, have a lovely rest of your day. Yeah, you too. I'll send you the my conversation. Take care. Love you. Bye. There you go. Done it. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
So, Cara.
Mm.
Now, Cara is sitting in her seat aboard a very fast-moving racecraft.
Indeed. So yes, sorry, indeed, yes. So I assume that while she has the technology and the wherewithal to do it, it might not be as straightforward as it would otherwise be.
It's going to be quite tricky, this one. You're going to face a tougher role than usual.
Okay.
What you're going to try to do is track the phone, which means essentially you've got to hack the network in order to get access to it. But knowing that you're Cara and more or less everybody in your crew has a phone that was at one time or another issued by the Baltic Star, you shouldn't have any inherent problems in tracking one of your own phones. The problem you're going to face is doing so while traveling 1,000 kilometers an hour in a racecraft in the middle of the ocean on nothing but your own phone, nothing but your own communication device.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be a hard electronics communications check.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. Yep.
With intellect.
Yes.
Given that it is your own phone you're doing, I'm not going to make you take a bane on it, but it's going to be a hard check.
It's very kind of you. Right. All right, it's a +4 at least. At least I get the +4. I get the +2 for my comms, and I get a +2 for my intellect. She's a very intelligent young lady. Well, she's in her 30s. That's not necessarily young, but anyone in their 30s is young to me. Except Ewan.
Very,
he gives
very
off
young.
Ewan gives off the vibe of an older man. Just as that. Think about it. Right. I'm just spending a lot of time rolling these heavily.
Watch yourself, young whippersnapper.
Oh, here we go. Well, come on. Okay. Well, let's see how that goes. It's an 11.
A total of 11?
7 + 4 is 11, yes.
Okay. You need to roll for me one more d6, please.
Oh. This first 1d6 roll of the night is dedicated to Timothy, who always enjoys it when I roll a 1d6 because I never know what I'm supposed to roll for Timothy. Timothy is recovering from a bit of hospital time at the minute, and he is. I messaged him today. He is. He's spending time in a hot tub, so he's having his own personal hot tub stream. So.
Fantastic.
Exactly. So hopefully
that sounds wonderful. I hope you're having a great time, Timothy.
I hope he listens to this
great
on
as
VOD
can be.
while in the hot tub. So there we go. There's one thing we love, it's a hot tub stream. 2.
2. Okay.
2.
All right. Though the Crafts ride is smooth, you're dealing with a small screen, no rapid action keyboard, and all the rest of it. It's going to take you about 20 minutes of devoted concentration to get this query running.
Yeah.
And then it's unknown to you exactly how long it'll take to return an answer.
Cool. Well, that's the best she can hope for. So that's what she'll do. And
Okay.
yeah, nothing else for her. There's probably a lot she can be doing out there, but that's what she's doing out there now. Should you do something
Okay.
to help us? No, I'm busy. Playing Snake.
I have priorities.
Exactly. Come on.
The computer says no. Yeah.
Like, shh, no, it's not my
Okay.
turn on. Not my turn on the thingamy wings. Leave me alone.
All right. Is Kara going to speak to any of her Baltic Star crew about this? Or is she going to leave them in the dark for the moment? Because so far, all of the communicating you've done has been person to person.
Yes, indeed. There's only one person, one single person. I'm happy to talk about it with. And that's going to be Sammy Chris. Because I know she wasn't. I've already psyched her out previously. I know she's all right. She wasn't under the lure of. And now you see, it's the first thing. I'm suddenly really suspicious. I'm like, well, he was friends with the
All our
Commodore.
friends.
He was friends with the Commodore, and Kat spent all the time with the Commodore, so she knows him. Freya, what do we actually know about Freya? Not much. She's a carving expert, but she might want. She seemed pretty happy to move on to our crew when that was the option.
Do you know who else is interested in carvings? Anton Fess.
Exactly. The paranoia, the Fess paranoia, the Fessanoia.
I feel like the meme of the guy with all the red threads.
Oh yeah, I'll bring him in. Actually, I could do that. From Always Sunny. Yeah, it is. It's in. It's in. That's Carla right now. She's pulling in her own threads, and it's only Sammy we trust now. She'll shuffle over to Sam if that's okay.
Okay.
Hey, Samster, you all right?
Yep, it's going well so far.
I'm probably about to ruin your day, but I couldn't carry the weight alone. I hope you don't mind me ruining your day.
Sure. Ruin away.
We're at Aluro.
Oh God.
Okay, no. It's not anything. I started big to make you feel better about this one. Anton, she lowers her voice. Anton Fess has kidnapped Rose, and I'm pretty certain he knows what we're planning to do, and that he's trying to do the same thing. But don't tell Freya. Don't tell Kat. I don't know if you've ever watched this old comedy series, and there's a scene in it where a guy's like gone mad, and he's like got all these plans on the wall with red strings and that. That's how I'm feeling right now, and I only trust you.
Okay. So we get her back then, right?
Did you just see me sat there with my tongue out the corner of my mouth for the last 20 minutes, looking engrossed in my phone? More engrossed than normal.
I naturally assumed you were having a stroke, and I didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah, because that's historically what you're supposed to do when someone's having a stroke. Thanks. Now I know where I stand with you. I appreciate you. I've sent out a tracker on Rose's phone to try and work out. She's on the water somewhere with Fess and one of his goons. See you well, Poops. Thanks for joining us. Thank you so much. Sleep well. Have a great
Thank
night.
you. Good night. She sort of glances out of the side of the craft through one of the sort of observation windows, and she says, "We're on the water as well. Why don't we just go get her?"
Because it's not our boat, and we've got so we do have someone floating above the water who could just as easily get her. I don't know where she is. It might be hours until I know where she is, and we're moving a lot faster than her. We could be buzzing in circles around an empty patch of ocean for a long time, and I don't think. And to do that, we'll probably have to mutiny against someone that's given us a lot of opportunity.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So basically, what you're telling me is something's gone very badly wrong.
Yep.
Which we can in no way affect. Doesn't necessarily have any impact on what we're doing.
Nope.
And so the only reason you've told me is so that I'll have something else on my mind while I have to take my turn steering the 1,000 km/h racing craft with millimeter precision.
Yeah, but a problem shared's a problem halved, isn't it? You're like, like when you
sure,
like when you were a place for Stefan to cower behind on that planet. When you were you became the ship badass for a while. You remember that? You were the queen of that planet. I feel like cowering behind. I feel it's my turn to cower behind you for a little while I get my head around it all.
Okay, it's fine. So the only other thing you said that worries me a little bit is you only want to talk to me about this because you trust me and not anyone else, right?
There's trust and there's trust, and Fess. I don't. Well, you know the guy. There's just something about him that makes me incredibly paranoid. He's bugged us in the past. He's bugged me in the past. He's sort of found his way around people and got people that you thought you knew against you and such like. And it got me thinking, like, how much do we know Freya? How much do we know Kat? She was. I'm sure it's absolutely fine, but she worked for the Commodore for years, and the Commodore was friends with Fess. Fess could have Manchurian candidated her. Kranev joined the crew happily when her colleague died. She jumped on with us because of the carvings. But Fess offered carvings, but more excitingly. Do you know what I mean?
And we've got the obvious problem that no, wait. Okay, can you roll for me, please? A persuade check with intellect.
Ooh, yes, I can.
Ooh. You're persuading her to come clean about her working for Fess.
Yes, it's a 9. It's a 9.
Okay. She says,
All in.
I think if Fess had Kat or Freya on board, wouldn't they just crash this boat?
They're still. Could they not just find a way to put your eye out of the running, but still continue the race to keep things very low key, or frame us, or throw us out many, many miles away from anywhere? It doesn't need to be anything as dramatic as crashing the boat.
Maybe it's easier to steer off course, or Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, then I won't tell anyone.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'll if I get anything back about where Rose is, I might come shuffling up to you again to share what we can. But we've been through a lot together. You're part of the crew, you know. You're part of the Baltic Star, and just want to make sure you're all right. You know, I want to make sure all our
Sure.
crew. I want to make sure all our crew's all right. If any of ours are in danger, we're all in danger. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Cool.
Okay.
Cheers, Kel.
Which
Take care.
means we now potentially have time. Oh yes. Good night, Kelly. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, we now potentially have time to go to the Agnar Soraya conversation, which we stopped on. But I think before we do that, we should take our break.
Cool.
Fantastic.
That does seem reasonable.
Right, everyone. We'll be back in somewhere between 5 and 8 minutes or something like that. Hang around. Then we'll do the toast. Then we'll do like a 25, 30-minute burst to the end or something like that. Is that all right? That sort of time?
Sounds great to me.
Cool.
Yeah.
Put that on there, and I'm going to put some music on for us as well. Hang on. Let's put. Right. What we're going to Good evening, viewers, if you're here in break. 'Tis I, Luke. As is the way now. During break time, I'll chat with you guys while the others are away there, taking care of their ablutions. Never say that word right. And doing their thing. Thank you for joining us this evening, and I hope you're enjoying it. Whenever Fest turns up, we start acting. See, we've got better. The first time Fest turned up for us was on a space station around Brightsea, and it's kind of Sarai's fault because she went home and talked to this guy that then pulled him up as sort of a man of note. This is when we met Zoe, who's for repeat viewers would know who Zoe is potentially, but if you're new, she's Zodani, and she's with us, but she's not part of the crew. We never classified her as part of the crew. She's a friend, and she's been travelling with us for a while. She's an NPC, and she told us that Fess was Zodani's special agent, and now he's sort of working alone potentially, but he was after her for a while. Then he's sort of been doing his thing, and he's well sinister. And this first trip, we made friends with him because he didn't know who he was, and he tried to get Sammy. He sort of hired Sammy on a day-by-day basis to check out some rocks for him, which is fine. She's a geologist. But then he sort of tried to like woo her, and then got really creepy around her, and we fled really quickly. Cara did some philosophy checks on her to make sure that her head was in the right place. It was, so that's why we trust Sammy. Sammy's been through a lot with us. But then every time we've met him since, it's been on Giikur and this and that. Previously, our previous trip there, Ben plays him so well. He plays him so slimy but so smart that we start faffing around. And the first time he sort of came to us in that way, just randomly, we weren't expecting him. It'd been ages. We literally freaked out. That next episode, we didn't know what to do. It was embarrassing, two full-grown men not knowing how to do it. And we thought we did okay, but he managed to plant a bug, and it's really obvious when you listen back. So he sort of patted Cara on the shoulder and things like that. So there's something about him since then that always puts an edge. Isn't that right, Ewan? Talking about Fest, how he always puts an edge on us and where he comes from. So
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know if Ewan was ready. I just
it's-
saw him come into it.
No, he totally is. I just thought I'd turn my phone off if we're talking. Too much technology going on in this room makes it really hot. But yeah, he totally puts us on edge. Those first few Ben appearances of Fess, I think cemented his character really well, and certainly made him stick with us.
And he's always up to something, and I think half the time we overplay what he's up to, but Ben does just enough. Like he made that phone call just before talking to Cara, or just after talking to Cara. Still don't know what that's about. He sort of where he tried to have Cara killed, didn't he? When they sort of split up a bit with that guy that Zoe shot. So we just don't trust the guy, and he just puts the willies up us. So Ben's back.
Proper wet out there, guys.
Is it? Has it happened? Is it still raining?
It is fairly torrential at the moment.
Oh,
oy vey! And you're up a stony path as well. You could be under water before you know it.
It's a sloping sort of stony thing. So there's a little river that starts running past my house.
is that what happens to stony paths when it rains, Luke? They just turn into rivers.
That's just how it happens, isn't it? I teach I have to teach geography as part of my job. That sounds about right. Stony paths become rivers.
Well, it must be true
over time. Yeah. If I've said it, it must be true.
Well, I think to be fair, at best, I would say it's probably a rill rather than a river.
Well, you always were one for fancy words. There we get to go back.
I really am.
You are really good. It's one of your great strengths.
Really am was good.
Really am.
I was there with you.
Yeah, I wasn't. My mind has been twisted and turned by Fess. Welcome back, everyone. You know what will get my mind in the right place? A toast. I think everything will feel a bit better once we've had a toast. Let me find a nice graphic for the toast. That's not it. That's not it. What's this? That's not it. Oh no, I can't even get the right toast. I'm stressing. What's this? That's Ben's. Oh, that's thunder. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, you probably heard that. That was right outside.
For those of you that are
Ben's
new,
also 4.
exactly, that you'll see lightning illuminate Ben's face in a minute to show how evil he is. His cunning plans. Right. Those that have been with us before will know that we do a toast midway or whenever we have our break to a fallen comrade, a fine barman who is sadly missed. None of you ever met him, but we loved him for the short time that we knew him. We've taken it in turns over the years to give the toast. It sort of follows one of us for a few months and moves on to the next. And at the moment, it's me. And when Greyhill joined the Baltic Star, the mighty Greyhill Bass with his mighty forearms, he would he ran a few adverts, late night adverts, on different TV channels to encourage. You know, when we were still trying to get people to come on the journey to sort of help fund the trip at the time, if you remember. That's why we carried Zoe and her friends for a while. We were sort of trying to make a bit of money. So Greyhill, off his own bat, decided that he would spend a bit of time and money in making an advert for us to try and encourage people on board. And I managed to watch an old recording of it, but sadly the tape has withered over time. And I had the wrong sort of machine. But I did manage to jot down the words he gave in the advert. It's sort of a tune. It's sort of to encourage people. It had a sort of a cheersy kind of feel. He wandered around the bar area, pointing at bottles and people drinking and so on. But the vocals went something like this. There's a magical place. We're on our way there, with drinks in their millions, all under one roof. It's called the Baltic Star. Soon after tea time, when dark night time comes, Greyhill and helpers stock up on the shelves. From ceiling to floor, vodkas, whiskies and gins, beers, ciders, and tequilas. There's millions, says Greyhill, all under one roof. It's called the Baltic Star, Baltic Star, Baltic Star, Baltic Star. Ladies and gentlemen, he was a wordsmith and a fine barman, the late great Greyhill Bast.
The Greyhill Bast.
To Greyhill Bass.
And it's now incredibly humid in this room.
Not as humid as it is outside.
Yeah.
Currently suffering from 100% humidity.
You've got the sheen on, mate. I tell you, look at that. That's amazing.
I can hear it against the window. It's like a solid curtain of water with occasional slots in it.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, where are we at, Ben? Where are we at?
Okay. Agnar was going to try to call Soraya.
Yeah, still happening. Ring, 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 ring.
Yes.
I don't know if she's answering. Oh,
Hello. Hello. No, the men's toilet's around the corner.
Sorry.
Not here. Don't stop. It's not the wall. Stop. Stop. I'm standing here. Sorry. Carry on. It's getting a bit hectic down here. I'm sure it's much classier up where you are.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
It certainly sounds like it. Listen, just a quick one. Sharp brought up the very good point that when do we intend to? I mean, I don't know whether we do intend to upset Fest, but if we were to upset Fest, when would that be happening? Because that's sort of when we've got to, right? unless, of course, we don't. In which case, there's no rush.
But I'd
Don't tell me
imagine
which one. Just tell me when, and we'll aim for that.
I would imagine that on the bougie balloon, you'll be able to track more accurately when we're going to upset him. If we indeed upset him.
Yes, that is very true. But anything I track is very obvious.
I could look at. I'll tell you what. While we're here, she sort of opens up the device. You know, can you still hear me? She sort of flicks onto like surfing mode, not actual physical surfing.
Okay.
Let me just. I'm just checking. No, because she had all the old data, didn't she? Of she had the old magazine thing, the electronic magazine, but she's probably not got that with her.
That's right.
But I'm just looking to find out what sort of time it was before they got to that point last time, because it's quite a famous bit. Some people take shortcuts, so it should be there in the data. Bear with me a sec.
Yes.
She's got to flick through to find. I think someone crashed there. People took different routes, so it's quite a point, isn't it, Ben? In the route, I think we've talked about it before. It's quite a famous, either play it dangerous or play it safe route. So, bear with me. I'm just going to check it. Okay, it says here that she sort of backs away from everyone, make sure it's quiet. Fess would know anyway, even if he heard, because he knows what he's doing. It says here that last year, if it was last year, the time would be about, and she hands over to Ben at this point.
Somewhere around 11 a.m. to noon tomorrow, depending on the exact route you take.
Okay. Thanks. That's useful. I mean, it might totally be obvious anyway by this point, but I figure the less we make known available, the better. For now, maybe.
Always.
How's Cara? Is Cara on it? Have you spoken to her already?
Yeah. We had a very relaxed and natural conversation, and she's doing what needs to be done, I believe. So
good. I knew you would. I mean, it always makes me happy. Those many hours when we're spending weeks in jump, the hours that you and her spend chatting together, you can tell that you've got a real, affinity.
It's like the affinity you have with Stefan. You never have a stunted conversation. The two of you just hang out together so much, but it's always in private when no one else is around to hear. You know, I've overheard amazing conversations you've had, but it's just that no one has ever been privy to it.
He gets a bit shy, sometimes in the public conversation. Obviously not with you.
Well, no.
Yeah, you know how it is.
Exactly. Well, enjoy.
Anyway, people to save.
Yes, of course.
Stuff to do.
Champagne to drink. This is how I don't on my shoe. I told you before. Your mate just puked on it. You're weeing on it, honestly, and you just hear it hang up.
Okay. So who's going to do what next?
As the phone call hangs up, Agnar will turn to Sharp and will say, I don't think I've ever truly thanked you for bringing me up here to watch the game rather than wherever it is Soraya is. Sounds like she's having a whole lot of time. Something about shoes.
You're very welcome.
Something from somebody else. So I do appreciate it. Thank you. We've got till about 9-10 o'clock tomorrow, I would imagine.
Okay.
I don't know what the plan is because Soraya doesn't know.
So potentially the night is our friend.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
That's a very unsexy way of putting it. I need Careless Whisper playing now.
Okay. It is at about this point that Kara will get the message come through that her search has completed, and she has in fact now pinged and locked Rose's phone.
Oh. And
The boat that Rose is in is southwest now of the sort of main island, the city of Sellville, all of that, and a fair distance out. Not very far. We're talking 40, 50 kilometers, that's all.
Sarai's going to, Kara's going to take the data, screenshot it or something, with sort of showing the route it's taking. It looks like it's far enough out now, and whatever Ewan says to mock me about vehicles being able to turn, if there's nothing in your way, once you're out in open water, the fastest route is straight. So if they've come out the southwest and they're far away enough, it would be safe to assume they'll continue on that route for a while. So Kara will screenshot it, sort of add a note to it to Agnar saying, here's where she is, this is the route, and send it up to him in the bougie balloon. And also send it to Soraya as well.
Okay.
Can Agnar send a message back saying, can you take the exact same screen? I can't get my
How many
words
of you?
out.
How many have you had?
I'm only typing a message.
Oh no!
delete.
Big fluffy fingers are getting all clumsy.
Can you send the same? Either find out how fast they're going, or send the same. Like send another screenshot in like exactly a minute, and then we can figure out how far they've gone and how fast they're going.
She sends back the little emoji for
Okay.
the saluting character.
Thanks.
And then she'll do that unless anything happens in between them.
Nothing to Kara, no. Okay, so if you do that, what you'll discover is that they are traveling at around about 1 kilometer per minute, about 60 kilometers per hour.
And he'll slide the photos over to Sharp, and that's where they are. And he'll flick between the two.
She glances up at the screens and says, "That's over the horizon from us." Huh. Okay. If they stay at that kind of speed, we're an awful lot faster than them.
Sharp.
Well, that's good to know. I'll ask Kara to keep monitoring. Obviously, there's still a reasonable amount. I'm not wrong in assuming that, am I, Ben? Still a reasonable amount of the day left to go before.
Oh yeah, quite a long time.
Shift,
yeah,
night shift takes over. So if
yes,
we continue to monitor them.
We're getting on for like 2 hours ish into the race, so it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm gonna. He'll say to Sharp, I'm gonna potentially, I suppose, try and pre-plan and assume that they are going to keep the same sort of speed, and assume that the night shift will take over at a similar sort of time, and perhaps attempt to plot An intersect, I suppose,
All right. Okay.
for however many hours in the future it is.
I mean, obviously, you're judging so far in front that it's very hard for you to know exactly
Yeah,
what's going on.
and I don't know where we'll be.
No. I mean, if, for example, you waited until the early hours of the morning tomorrow, you would be almost on the opposite side of the planet to the boat.
Okay, cool.
Because essentially the dirigible's following the race.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. He'll start, he's trying to keep himself busy, basically. He actually feels a little bit guilty about the whole situation, and there's not a lot that they can do, certainly that he thinks at this point, until the night time.
Okay.
So he'll look at charts, and he'll draw the lines on the map, on his screen on the map, where try and find the place that the photo that Kara took, and start plotting out where they're going to be in 10
Fair
hours, 11 hours, 12 hours, 13 hours.
Yeah, right.
Assuming that all things remain the same, just to keep himself busy.
Yep. Fair enough. Excellent. Right. So, anything Sarai wants to do?
Yeah. Grit her teeth and call Zoe.
Okay.
Awkward.
Zoe picks up on like the second or third ring. Hey, Sarai.
Hey, I'll cut to the point. Professor's got Rose.
Where is he?
Kara managed to hack into Rose's phone and sent me where he is. I'll send it to you right now as we talk. And she sort of pings it over to Zoe. There, in a boat, in the middle of the ocean.
Okay. So, we what? Get a shuttle, go after, kill Fess, pick up Rose, kill Fess again, drown Fess, chop Fess into pieces, throw Fess into the ocean, bring Rose back, and we all drink.
If he's going at 60 kilometers an hour, we can catch him, can't we, on a shuttle without too much problem?
Very easily, yeah.
This is almost a better idea. It means that Agnar can do more exciting things. I can fly. I can fly a shuttle. I have that skill, and you're really good at killing people and chopping them up.
Let's find out.
Despite all the better plan, like all the best conversations and the plotting beforehand, I guess Sarai's caught up a bit with Rose's immediacy, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Where shall I meet you?
Where are we going to get a shuttle?
Right, let me think. Where do we get a shuttle? We know that. Well, we don't know the Stefan guy. Her mate. Who was her mate? Zoe's mate. Who doesn't want to talk to her anymore, I'd imagine. Your mate, Zoe.
Zoe's mate.
Was it Zoe's? Who was the one that got us across the water after the stabbing? That wasn't Zoe's mate, was it? That was someone else's.
No,
that was Cat's, was it?
that was Cat's
Yeah.
friend.
We could nick one. There's a lot around.
There are a lot around.
We could get Johnny.
Um,
He's down here.
That's good, and we could always. I mean, it's Rose, so we don't really care how many people we have to kill or maim in order to steal a shuttle, do we?
I'd like to keep it in single figures.
Oh, pacifist. Okay. So the problem, I guess, from stealing one from here is, yeah, there are a lot of them about down here, but there are people everywhere around them, using them all the time, heading up and down. We want to hijack one, that's fine, but that's going to be, noisy. And we don't really know the criminal element in this area, do we? We don't know anyone who's dodgy.
And the Baltic Stars is on the landing pad. It's been booked in for weeks and weeks and weeks, accruing horrible costs.
We could bring the whole ship down.
The whole of the Baltic Star. Or crush them.
Totally.
Isn't that against Giikur rules?
Yeah, it would probably cause a bit of discussion. We need someone who's got a shuttle or can get us one. And do so. It doesn't have to be like perfectly legal, but it has to be something that we won't get arrested for immediately, immediately spotted for, right?
For sure. How about the Stefan? Stefan was apparently getting someone to get him back to the Baltic Star. He's not messaged me. Suggests he's back. We could find out who got him back.
Worth a shot.
Cool. You gather together all your best pointy killing weapons, and I'll try and get in touch with Stefan, or at least the Baltic Star. Go for the really nasty.
Right.
Go for the jaggedy ones. The serrated edges and things like that.
Oh yeah, I'm going to have fun with this one. And she signs off immediately. Are you calling Stefan?
I'm going to call up to the Baltic Star, so it'll probably be Kron, I'd imagine. I will call up to the Baltic Star itself.
Yeah, it probably will if you call their flight deck. Yeah.
Hello, Baltic Star. This is Soraya speaking.
Hello, Soraya. How lovely to hear your voice.
Kron.
Race is going well, it seems.
Race is going splendidly. How are you keeping? Good?
Fantastic.
Good. If you'd have loved it down basically everywhere we've been, I'm sure you've had a wonderful time refitting, but you've missed a month of wonder. We bought a business. We watched a lot of sport. Lots of people got killed around us. I know. We did a lot of hot tubbing. I don't know if you're a fan of hot tubs. Me and Stefan threw
Always.
Tomatoes at a cult leader.
I'm sure you had to be there.
We did. Speaking of Stefan and being there, does Stefan be there?
Yeah, he's aboard.
I need to know. I want to try and keep the trail on him not too crazy. I just need to know the name of the guy or girl that got him off back to the Baltic Star. We could probably do with their help.
Yeah, I'll confirm the details with him. Stand by. And he drops off for a moment and wanders down to find Stefan. And he says, Stefan?
Yeah.
The lunatic who bumped into the ship.
Hmm.
What was his name?
Gerald Cags.
And
What?
you've got some contact details for him, right?
Yeah.
Could you ping those across to me? Apparently, Soraya needs them.
He'll think for a minute and he'll fire them across and he'll say, yeah, sure. Do you know what she needs them for?
She didn't say, and I didn't ask.
Okay. Let her know that. It's a nice way of putting this. Let her know that he reminds me of a young me. By young me, I mean before I met Soraya. Before I met Soraya, I mean stupid and not very good at crime.
Okay, all right. I'll say something along those lines.
Yeah, thanks.
Sure. Okay. And he wanders back up to the bridge, and as he does, he opens up his communicator and calls Soraya back.
Yellow.
Gerald Cags, his name is. I'm pinging you the details now, and Stefan had a message for you. Reading between the lines, he wanted me to express that Cags is kind of like an unreformed Stefan.
Wow. Well, I tidied Stefan up. Maybe I can tidy this guy up as well. I appreciate it though. At least I know what I'm working with. As if today hasn't been bad enough. Cheers, Kron. Keep the toasted sandwich maker on. We'll be back in time for dinner, hopefully.
That sounds great.
Is that the Baltic Stars version of Smoke Me a Kipper?
keep the
toasted sandwich maker on.
Click on the sandwich maker. But of course it is. Okay.
She'll call Cags.
Okay. There's a few seconds delay, but then you get it picked up, and he says, "Who's this?"
You know the guy you picked up off a mountainside last night? I haven't
got the slightest idea what you're talking about. Doesn't sound like me. Anyway, I was somewhere else.
I'm his mate, Soraya. I'm one of the crew members of the Baltic Star. And you might have...
I've never heard of it. How are you?
I need to borrow your shuttle, if that's okay. You can come with it. Pay.
Well, that shuttle... it's no longer really in my possession. But as luck would have it, I have come into possession of another shuttle, which I won in a game of chance.
Wonderful.
I chanced upon it, and by chance, their security system was rubbish.
This is fantastic. This sounds like your good fortune might also be mine to some extent. Stefan would be proud. Me and a friend need to... basically, there's a boat that we missed that's heading out to the southwest of the island. A friend of mine and I just want to jump on board the boat so we can catch up with a couple of old friends.
It sounds like a brilliant idea. A lovely jaunt in the pleasing summer breeze, I'm sure.
Yeah, it'll be a short jaunt though. Then the three of us will want to get back on again and head back. We can't take the fresh air for too long.
Okay. Obviously, I could lodge a flight plan for this, which might be a bit of a surprise to the people who park the shuttle. Or we could just say, let's not bother with the paperwork.
You and I both know there's only one sort of paper that really works in this deal. How much of mine do you need for such a deal?
Well, let me think. The shuttle came fully fueled. Don't need to worry about that. You know what? I'm likely to need bail, a lawyer, and possibly transit away from here. Let's call it 50,000.
How attached are you to Giikur, Mr. Keggs? Or would you like to start up on a whole new? How do you feel about starting your business on a whole different planet with free transport there?
You know how it is where sometimes you've been in a place for a while and you've seen all of the major sites and attractions, and you think, you know what, this place is getting sick and tired of me. We might have hit that point.
So, well, that ship I mentioned, we're heading off very soon, in the next day or so, and you'll notice it's a liner. There's staterooms, and one of them's yours. Until we find a planet that you would like to start getting sick of all over again.
Well, that's really very generous of you. Recently refitted?
Apparently so I've heard. We've got 2 toasty sandwich makers as well. So there's never going to be a queue for one if you need
probably a top of the line security system. But anyway, yeah, that sounds good.
It can be wrong. Yes, you might have to spend some of that time in your room, it must be said. But a ticket would normally go 50,000. What are you thinking?
Like, I've just had a visit from a drive-by proctologist. You know what? I'm still going to need some spending money. So I'll take you up on your offer. But I'm going to need just a little bit of spending money to sweeten the deal.
Okay. How expensive are your spending tastes?
It's not really how expensive my tastes are. It's how expensive I would like them to become. Let's call it 10K.
10K. I'll take it.
Okay. Then in that case, I should probably pick you up somewhere. Now, obviously, we shouldn't do the pickup anywhere that's particularly populated, I think.
Makes sense to me. Name a place. Me and my friend can get to it in the next hour or 2.
Where are you right now?
I'm down by the. I'm down by all the pits, and I think my friend's pretty much down here too. Last I heard. Just lost track of her.
All right. Head out past the private shuttle docking area, the sort of north end of the bay, of the cove. Keep going another couple of kilometers. There's a little bay that sometimes people go to when they're less interested in paying customs charges than they potentially were taught to in school.
Okay. Sounds like a place you'll meet interesting people.
Well, I hope so. Don't disappoint me.
Do my best. See you in a little bit.
You said 2 passengers on the way out, and you reckon 3 on the way back?
Yeah, maybe 4, but that one's not really our friend. Might just be with us for fun times.
All right. Very well. I can probably be there in about an hour, I reckon. Because I haven't technically taken full possession of the shuttle yet. But yeah, I can be with you in an hour. Just after ownership is fully transferred to me.
Sounds good. Just make sure it's the floor doesn't get stained by blood. It could be a hell of a party. See you in an hour. She hangs up.
There's a sort of pregnant pause, and then a little text message comes through from Cags.
Yeah.
You're paying the dry cleaning.
I wouldn't expect it any other way.
And at that moment, I think it's a good moment to cut it for tonight.
On dry cleaning costs.
Well, at a slightly more upbeat moment in the story.
Yeah.
Nice change.
Luke, I can't believe you've given him an open-ended invite.
A ship piece to the Baltic Star. Just invite them all along. He sounds like a nice man. He did you, right?
I mean, yeah, that's true. It was quite amusing. Stefan quite enjoyed his company, I think, to be honest.
There you go.
I think I would have preferred it if we'd have been like, I would drop you off at the first planet rather than just stay until you find a planet you like. Or, just never leave. Either way.
We can take off when he's not on board. We'll find a way. Don't you worry about that.
He's more worried about him taking off when we're not on board.
I think the man's a character, but so far you haven't seen much of a psychopath about him.
That's very true. That's very true. In the grand scheme of things, better to get his help in getting Rose back.
Exactly. Anyway, thank you both.
Yes, thank you guys.
Sinister happenings.
It's been good fun. A nice forming of plans.
A nice, relaxing, simple one this time.
Communicating the aftermath of Ben's mic drop Fess phone answer last game, and then coming up with some form of a plan. Maybe we'll see what happens.
A cunning plan.
No, I think so.
Hopefully, a very violent plan. I'm on the side of violence this time.
Okay, this is not normally a combat stream, but you're going full on.
It's a good job Agnar's going to be there to administer first aid.
He's not allowed anywhere near it. I'm going to feed him the wrong direction.
Oh, get back on the phone to Cara.
Feed him wrong directions, quick.
Anyway.
Night, Storm Bender. Thanks so much for joining us, by the way. We appreciate you.
Much fun.
I hope you fancy coming back again at some point.
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll be back again tomorrow. Isn't that right, Luke?
We are. It's not Traveller tomorrow. It's Saturday, which is where we play a lot of other games. And tomorrow is part 2 of our homage to Allo Allo, a wonderful TV series where Ben and Ewan play members of the Resistance. And I have to get my French accent out.
So tomorrow's is called I Shall Say This Only Twice.
It is exactly that. In a slightly worse accent the second time as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. No, it's fun. Is the Allo Allo game, and we had a lot of fun with it the first time out, and this is going to be a riot tomorrow. So yes, if that sounds like something you fancy, come along and enjoy. That'll be 11 o'clock UK time.
Exactly. And then your
Yeah.
your
Same
video
time, same
gaming,
place.
your video gaming on Monday, aren't you, Ben? Or Socks is?
I
With...
believe so. Yes.
Oh, you are,
All
because
being
Socks is going
well.
to start again, I think. Yeah. So.
All being well, we'll be starting Sox's stream of her weird biological thing on Monday.
Fantastic.
And that'll be a video game which Sox will play, and I will stare in disbelief at what the hell's in front of me.
Just like when you're playing video games, really.
It is like that, yeah. Yeah, it's very much like that, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you both.
Good
Go to bed, Ewan, and we'll
Thanks.
see you all soon. Take care.
Thank you.
See you all. Love you.
Good night.
Bye.